I love the Giffing grip.
Good idea.
I love it, love it, love it. So now you see this is right side up. So just gonna take this and go in. The hard part I find with these is just moving your hand gently here so that you can get this. Okay, so that should be even. I have favorite little trimming tools, and I probably have 30 of these. These are Dolan, and this is, I love this shape. But when I first start, I use a wider one, because you can see there's a little bit of stuff here around the edge. So, and you just have to be careful. You can see how this is fairly wet. And you have to think that, like, if you were normally trimming a piece that's this wide, you wouldn't have a base this narrow. So, but you just have to go very gently. You can see it because it's sticking, it's still a little tacky. Then I'm going to go from the inside out and just get it nice and even, because you can see where it was cut off. There's a little swirl there. And I'm just taking off a tiny amount. Thank you, dear. Okay. I do have, usually in my pack of tools, a level. So if you take the level and just make sure that this is nice and level now. It looks fairly level to me, but then every time I put that poster on the wall, afterwards it's crooked. So every time.
And it looks straight to begin with.
It looks so straight to begin with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge here, I'm going to make a little rim so that it sits down. And you don't have to. I mean, you could take a wet sponge, a damp sponge, and go over this, and it's finished. Because basically a cake plate is just smooth. But why not push it a little more and make a little tiny edge right here. Just a little bit more. So now I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to take this and trim it all the way out. When I trim, I usually go faster. I have the wheel going faster, but I'm so conscious of that narrow base down there. And especially as I get out towards the edge, if I'm not careful and I go real fast, it could tip, and then what would happen? It would twist here. What's nice about this shape is I can feel this. I can feel how thick this is. So that's nice. But I'm going to go here. And these are a real treat to make. I mean, I think they would look nice, and they would make wonderful gifts, and I think they would sell well. And it's not, Amy, you probably came to one of the more complicated demos I've done. A lot of times, you know, the pieces that I'm making aren't quite so complicated, but this is more complicated because you throw it upside down, you think upside down, but that's such a good thing to try and imagine how you can make it. A number of people make these right side up, but then they make them in two parts and then put them together. I find that awkward in that when they dry, when you fire them, there's such a chance of cracking, of breaking, slipping off center. There are lots of issues with that. So you can also, one thing you can do is make this, when you throw it, 1.5 inches thick, and then when you do this edge here, make a groove and then get glass tops for your cake, which would be really, really a beautiful piece. And sometimes. So this is it. Then I'm just going to take a damp sponge and go over it, make it smooth. And I would carve the edge. I was also going to demonstrate, but you could do lots of things with this as far as, I'm gonna put a little swirl in here just because I like swirls.
You could pierce that part as well, right?
You could pierce it, you could,
It's
yes.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do. And this just has a slight dip here. So because of the shape, I would cover this even after it's trimmed for several days. And the way I do that is when I first want it to dry very slow, I put a piece of dry cleaner plastic down, put it on top of the dry cleaner plastic, gently fold the plastic over top, put another piece over, and put a towel over it. Just because there's just such a tendency for cracking, you know, when you're making something
Do you
like
dry
this.
it in